Story time, guys. Way back in 2019, I discovered filmmaking and I instantly fell in love. And that led to a journey, a meticulous journey of hours and hours of research just to find a camera that was amazing for beginners but could also drop pro level footage as well as pro level photography. And that led me to buy my first camera ever, the Sony A7 III. Welcome back to a new era, guys, and let's just start off with a a little bit bigger, and don't forget to hit that like button, guys, because that was pretty cool. And definitely do not forget to subscribe because you know I'd love to have you. And now let's just get back to talking about the Sony A7 III for beginner filmmakers. One of the most important things I looked for as a beginning filmmaker is the ability to capture cinematic slow motion, crazy motion blur, and things of that nature. So what that meant is that frame rates is super important to me, and the Sony A7 III completely delivered on that. And you get 24 and 30 frames per second. In 4K you get 60 frames per second as well as 120 and the 1080. And the 60 and the 120 is especially important because that's where you can get the slow motion in the editing process. And you might think that 1080 is a lot less than the quality of the 4K in this camera, but I can assure you it is not, and I use that all the time. And the fact that you have access to all these different frame rates, especially as a beginner filmmaker, means that you're gonna have to learn a lot of visual properties and use the frame rates as such so that you can capture any situation you come across in the best way. In tandem with the frame rates, this camera is gonna give you awesome color science. It is an 8-bit camera, meaning that it has a super wide array of color understanding, and more importantly, you get access to a bunch of different picture profiles, including HLG, S-Log, and Cine. This is really good for beginner filmmakers because you're going to be forced to use these picture profiles if you really want to bring out the best colors, the best quality in the footage that you capture. And for me, the best thing about having all these frame rates, having all this awesome color science, is that it operates fantastic even in low light situations. This room is a low light situation. It's extremely dark in here other than for the key light that's right in front of me. By the way, guys, I'm not nice to this camera at all. I've taken it out in super harsh environments. I've run it for super long times. I've taken it to the desert for 2 days straight. I've taken it to the ocean and the beach multiple times, pretty much in every other video you see on this channel because I live right here in sunny San Diego. And I've taken it with the Ronin, my gimbal, 5 days straight for at least 6 to 8 hours every day, all over Seattle, and that had rain, that had super harsh sunlight. The weather was all over the place. Despite all of that, I've had no issue with the Sony A7 III. I've had no overheating. I've had no sudden breakdowns or anything of that kind, which is freaking awesome. So I just spilled a bunch of water on my shirt, so don't mind any spots you see on the shirt for the rest of the video. And unlike the shirt, the Sony A7 III is super durable. It's gonna give you high quality footage, meaning that this camera is insanely versatile. You could do pro level stuff. You could do interviews, documentaries, product videos, all the way down to the creative things like vlogs, start a YouTube channel like this one, so don't forget to subscribe, and even just cinematic travel videos. Now, for most of this review, I've referenced the video capabilities of the Sony A7 III and not so much the photography side of things. So let's talk about that for a second. The Sony A7 III is a 24 megapixel camera, meaning that you're gonna get a lot of great detail in your photos. It's great for general photography. This camera is actually my go-to photo camera. I use it for Instagram, I use it for my thumbnails, I use it for creative portraits, and I even just use it for my pro level photography work. So all in all, is the Sony A7 III worth it for beginner filmmakers? And in my opinion, absolutely. You get access to all these awesome features that are going to force you to learn. It's going to force you to grow in the craft of filmmaking as a beginner filmmaker, and it's a great investment that's going to last you and it's going to benefit you for the years to come. This whole video we've talked about just the Sony A7 III, a singular camera, and I didn't even tell you what lens I pair with it, but I did make a video about that, so I'll leave that video for you right here. Don't forget to comment down below about the Sony A7 III if you have it already. I want to hear about your experiences with it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next Wednesday. Peace.